Hey everyone, we're back. Another day, another chapter. If you've not seen the previous episodes, my name is Dim, and we are doing a chapter by chapter read through in this series of this incredible book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. The subtext is a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. And if you've not seen our previous episodes, this book was given to me when I was 18. I'm 35 now, and I'm clearly still reading it because I have found, as a men's coach, the level of wisdom in terms of just navigating the challenges of life, of work, of relationships. So much wisdom is in this book, and so still relevant to this day. So it is my pleasure to be sharing this knowledge with you, and after I read the chapter, I'm going to do a little discourse at the end so you can help apply the knowledge that's in this chapter into your own life. So without further ado, chapter 13, don't use your family as an excuse. If a man never discovers his deepest purpose, or if he permanently compromises it and uses his family as an excuse for doing so, then his core becomes weakened and he loses depth and presence. His woman loses trust and sexual polarity with him, even though he may be putting much energy into parenting their children and doing the homework. A man should, of course, be a full participant in caring for children and the household, but if he gives up his deepest purpose to do so, ultimately, everyone suffers. Take care of the woman and take care of the children and the house as much as you want. Just remember that if you give up your true purpose to do so for too long, you are not really helping anyone. Parenting children, as well as any responsible commitment in love, requires you to transcend your own personal preferences for the sake of the larger commitment, for the sake of service in love. This is a natural part of being a householder. However, you cannot abnegate your deepest purpose to do so, or else you will feel frustrated, eventually resigning yourself to a lesser life than you know you are capable of living. This self-resignation will communicate itself to your woman and your children. They will feel your weakness. Your woman will begin to take charge more than she really wants. Since you are clearly not capable of taking charge yourself, someone has to do it. Your children will challenge your capacity to discipline them, since they can feel your own lack of authentic self-discipline. Try as you might, once you have negated your own deep purpose, your household will become a place where everybody tests your capacity to stand your ground, and you will lose. Obviously, as a father or a householder, you will want to give your love, skill, energy, and time to your family. It will be your joy. It will be also a necessity. However, the motive to dedicate time to householding may or may not be symmetrical between partners, and this should be an ongoing discovery for each couple. This motive may change over time for both men and women as their lives grow through different stages. The priority of the feminine in men or women is the flow of love in relationship. The priority of the masculine in men and women is the mission which leads to freedom. Ultimately, true love and true freedom are the same. However, the journey of the masculine and feminine to this unity of love and freedom is very different. If your woman has a more feminine essence than you, or if she is a more feminine phase of life than you, then her priority will be the flow of love in her life. Her core will be much more fulfilled by the love she shares with the children than yours will be. You will also feel great fulfillment sharing love with your children. But if you have a masculine core, or if you are in a masculine phase of your life, this fulfillment will not touch your deepest parts in the same way. Even if you love your children every bit as much as your woman does, your relationship with them will only be part of your deepest life purpose. What is your deepest life purpose? For some men, their deepest life purpose is their family. If you are one of these men, then you probably aren't concerned about the issue of whether or not you are using your family as an excuse. Many men, however, regardless of how much they love their family, also feel a deeper calling. If they do not live true to this calling, then their core weakens, even if they genuinely love and desire to serve their family. When you know your direction and are living it fully, your core is alive and strong. Your children will naturally feel this. They will respond to your clarity and presence differently than they will respond to your ambiguity, an ambiguity that results from having detoured from your deepest purpose because you think it's right or fair that you spend time with them. A short period of time with a father who is absolutely present, full in love, undivided inside, and sure of his mission in life will affect your children much more positively than if they spend lots of time with a father who is ambiguous in his intent and has lost touch with his deepest purpose, no matter how much he loves his children. Children learn most from their parents by osmosis. If their father is suddenly weakened and compromised, this will flavor their experience of his love. Just as you did with your father, your children will unconsciously replicate or react to the emotional taste they absorb from you. Your essential emotional tone, at ease in your deepest purpose or fearful in the ambiguity of your intent, becomes part of your children's home. If you and your woman both work, it is better to make arrangements with other families to timeshare childcaring or to hire someone to help with your children than to permanently compromise your deepest purpose and truth because you feel you must do so to spend more time with your children. It is not the amount of time, but the quality of the interaction that most influences a child's growth. Children are exquisitely sensitive to emotional tone. If you are not full in your own core, aligned with your deepest purpose, and living a life of authentic commitment, your children will feel it. For their sake, for your sake, for your woman's sake, discover your deepest purpose, commit yourself completely to its process, and find a way to embrace your family as you do so. Be with your family and your children without compromise or ambiguity. Don't use your family as an excuse to be less than you can be. With birth control so readily available, children are a choice. If you choose to be a householder and raise children, you are responsible for serving them with as much authentic love as possible, which you can only give if your life is aligned with your deepest purpose. Don't cheat your family of your fullest core, and don't use them as an excuse to avoid the work it will take to manifest your highest vision. You can give love to your family and engage your life's work if you discipline yourself to act on your deepest desires with priority. Then, when you are with your family, you are with them totally, since there is no chronically unfinished business in your life to distract you, and no inner ambiguity about where you want to be or what you really want to be doing. So I hope you found that chapter as meaningful as I did. I think there's a few things that he's saying here. There's what society expects of you. There's what culture expects of you, what others expect, your peers expect. And then there's you trusting yourself, living true to your intuition and to what you believe is right. And sometimes what you believe is right is going to be different from the societal model. But what I would say is this: realize the societal model, statistically, I think about 50% of families or more end up in divorce. There are issues with the societal model, and the societal model is ever evolving. There's things that are accepted, and there was things that were accepted and common practice 100 years ago which are barbaric today. Slavery is one of them. There's tastes and ways that you should be 100 years ago, and that was society's model. And now we don't do that anymore. Before, the man was the breadwinner and the woman just stayed at home. And if you were just following society's model, that's what you would have done. My encouragement to you, especially if you resonate with these videos, is if you resonate with these videos, you are a leader. You are a free thinker. You are someone who actually can think beyond just the expectations of society. That's the truth. If you are resonating with this video, that is the truth about you. So what I encourage you to do is realize and question, why are you doing things the way you're currently doing? Are you just doing it because you're scared of what people might think, or what society might think, or some phantom might think if you did what you actually believed was right? Now, this doesn't mean be foolhardy. Still, there's other chapters of this book where he's saying, speak to other trusted men friends and speak to other trusted people to soundboard your ideas, to make sure you're not bullshitting yourself, or make sure you're not being silly. But be careful who you speak to, because if you just speak to people who are sheep, they will shut you down. They'll have tall poppy syndrome, and they'll try to just bring you down to their level. You want to speak to people that you respect, that actually have the results that you want, that you actually believe that these people have actually diligently thought about these issues, and you can actually corroborate. It's almost like you have a little board, an advisory board for yourself, a personal advisory board, and you can use that to help you delineate for yourself what's the right allocation of time that you can spend with your family. That's kind of one piece here. Another piece that he's saying here, and maybe you didn't understand this, is he's saying you want to find your deepest purpose, and you want to organize and prioritize your life around your deepest purpose. So what all that means is this: there are things in your life which just naturally light you up. That may be genuinely your job. It may be chasing money. It may be being in nature and going in adventures. It could be so many things. But the thing is, society puts down, for example, let's say you genuinely actually love your job and you like chasing money, right? Society in this current age self-righteously puts chasing money down, but if you're a family man and whatever, it puts that up. And then they have compassion for the family man who struggles with his bills. But then if you are out there chasing money, people look down on you, even though you're probably the type of person that can pay the health bills and can actually support a friend who is struggling, like who has a health issue and needs money, and you can actually be there to support that friend. At the moment, society puts up family. It's also putting up health and well-being and spirituality, and sometimes you see this trend of I remember I saw this case where there was this lady who was putting down her husband because he's this businessman and he doesn't spend time doing yoga and spirituality, but then she doesn't work, and it's off his money that she does her spiritual pursuits. She's not realizing that if he went and became more spiritual, then maybe that they wouldn't have as much money for them to do the retreats and all of those things. And then she would have to end up becoming someone who has to work more. So actually realize that all of these different values that we have, they actually complete each other. They complement each other. You need money, and you need whatever. You need time in nature, and you need whatever it is that your values are. You need them because they are beautiful complementary opposites, likely to your partner and to your family. And together we kind of create an organism which completes each other. So if you compromise your values and you compromise what's deep, like what deeply feels right to you, as what to do with your time, because you should be spending time with your family, number one, you are going to feel less motivated, less fulfilled, less energetic, less magnetic, less charismatic. Your children, what he's saying is your children will feel like you, and your wife will feel like you don't really want to be there, right? But if you fill your own cup first, which is basically you find a way to organize your life. I'm not saying you shirk your responsibilities. If you find a way to organize your life so you are filling it with things that you love to do and that are purposeful and meaningful to you, and your cup is full and you feel fucking great, then when you go to your family, you are giving them that energy, the energy of someone who is vibrant, who is thriving, who is alive. And that is a beautiful gift. And what he's saying here is 1 hour giving them that type of energy, and where you're fully present and you actually want to be there and you love them and you're sharing that the fact that you're thriving, that is a bigger gift that helps resolve, petty situations and actually blooms them into a really loving situation. That's a bigger gift that you can give them than if you just spend 5 hours of time with them where you don't really want to be there and you're half present and you're checked out. Hopefully that makes sense. So in other episodes, you have seen breakdowns of how you actually learn what your purpose is, and you can figure out what you want to do with your life and create a life that's meaningful to you. But you creating a life that's meaningful to you, not only does it make you happy, fulfilled, thriving, energetic, magnetic, charismatic, all of those things, and you feel like the best version of you when you start to do more of the things you love and you organize your life around the things that you love, and you can find a way to get paid for the things that you love to do. The more you do that, not only does it bring out the best version of you, which means that you can give the best version of you to your loved ones, which is like the best part. For me, my humble values, like me being the best version of me, whether that be like through my energy and my presence, but also through the money in my bank account, that means that I can give the best of me to the people that I love, so that if they need me from a mindset perspective, a spiritual perspective, a loving perspective, a financial perspective, I'm trying to do my best to be empowered in all areas of life, so that if they ever need me, I can give them the best of me. But that's my humble little quest, right? That's one part of it. The other part of it is the more you get clear on your values and what you really love and all of those things, the more your emotions get regulated, because you've got something outside of relationships to pursue that gives you meaning and fulfillment. So you basically get grounded when you do that. And when you're grounded and then you go into relationships, and relationships have plenty of storms, all relationships do, whether it's family or intimate or whatever, you're able to be more regulated, you're more self-regulated. So then you can be the rock that she gets to lean on, right? Because your cup is full and you're strong in yourself. So you're able to handle conflicts and difficult situations better when you've organized your life and prioritized what you really care about. And why I'm sharing this with you and teaching it to you this way is because then you understand the logic behind why it's important for us to fill our cup first. And look at what happens to people who don't. The people who don't, often they have to do something to kind of offset, like a cheat meal. So they end up doing drugs, or they end up drinking, or they end up cheating, or getting addicted to porn, or like, like those guys that just add all these like models on their Instagram. They don't show that Instagram page to their wife, but it's kind of like messed up because they're like liking all these like kind of like these photos of girls in bikinis or whatever, but they're hiding that from their wife. But that's their way. Like they're trying to be, they're trying to come across as an angel to their family, because you should do that, but then they're being a devil in the dark, right? It's actually better to just be real and say, you know what, if I don't fill my own cup first, and I don't prioritize these things, I become a shitty, bitter, resentful, unpresent version of myself, and then that's what I give to my family, and I don't want to do that. So I actually would rather like be full and be strong within myself, so I can give the best of me to my family. And that's not how the mainstream thinks. I don't, not from what I've seen anyway. I mean, the mainstream self-righteously says they think that, but they don't. Like the people who actually live it, I think is pretty rare. So I hope you enjoyed this chapter. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week we've got chapter 14, and then we actually are going to be moving on soon to part 2 of the book, called Dealing with Women. So it's going to get pretty spicy. So thanks for joining me. I hope you found value, and if you did, please do share this with someone else who you think might find value, because it would be beautiful to create a more conscious world together. I believe that in the future, men will be more conscious. Men will know how to navigate the challenges of life better. They will know how to navigate their emotions and relationships better in a more healthy way. And I believe that the work we do is going to help create that future. So that's why I do what I do. Please do share this with someone who you believe might get value out of it or might find it interesting. And if you'd like to connect with me, I'm on Instagram. My details are below. I'd love to connect with you. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.